So, Caroline, it's a pleasure to have you on today to talk about the evolution of our frictionless enterprise proposition. We've seen so many clients suffer from friction both within and outside the enterprise, which is really harming their competitive performance in the market. I'm delighted to have you on actually, because you have a lot of experience reimagining business models, particularly in the customer to cash domain. How has life changed for you?
Hi, Brijesh, great to be here. Well, it's changed a lot. So now more than ever, organizations and order to cash teams are under intense pressure to improve business outcomes, and they're looking for help. So perfect time to talk about frictionless.
That's good to hear. I mean, today we're going to be talking about how the finance function is moving from being a cleanup act of frictions within the enterprise, given its role as typically being at the end of a chain, to a catalyst of business model disruption, working in a collaborative way with the wider functions in the enterprise. I'm sure this is something you started to see, right?
Absolutely. And order to cash is a great example of that, and where friction comes at a big cost. So the more friction, the harder it is for your customers to buy, to pay. You have to do things differently, and you have to remove friction. But Bridge, we should start off by talking about what does frictionless finance mean to you?
So for me, I've spoken recently about organizations that are continuing to operate in very traditional operating models. They, orchestrate capabilities around people and around concentration of experts, which naturally creates a divide of a front, a middle, and a back office. Yeah. And when you have that inside any enterprise, it can only exaggerate the problem of silos, and it can only affect the ability for really any enterprise to see, sense, and serve the customer in a very dynamic way, which is critical in the environment, in the volatile environment that we're living in.
Absolutely. So it's like you said, it's critical for organizations to compete in today's business environment. They have to just get rid of those silos, and that way they gain agility, they improve their speed to market, and collect cash faster.
Correct. So Capgemini, as you know, has developed the digital global enterprise model, which is our platform, and we have a .AI version, which really starts to package up all of the tools, the applications, the operating models and techniques to take organizations onto a frictionless way of operating across their business operations and the wider enterprise.
I know it well. So we should talk about how the D-GEM platform delivers a frictionless enterprise.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the pillars. Okay. So the D-GEM.AI model has 5 pillars, and I'll start with the intelligence pillar, because ultimately what we are trying to do is take finance processes, start to connect the dots that exist. Let's take order to cash or customer to cash as an example. Let's connect the dots of payment behavior, processing, sentiment in communications, and connect that with data further up the enterprise to make better commercial decisions.
Absolutely. So once you connect those dots, you look at workforce, and your workforce is unable to do the job it's employed to do just because of the sheer number of exceptions and poor experiences it has to deal with. We solve that with D-GEM by augmenting the workforce. Then we look at proximity to the customer, and silos and all of these internal functional perimeters that are built by traditional operating models. Once you remove them, you bring the enterprise closer to the customer. So Bridge, why don't you talk about the last two?
Sure, thank you. So I guess the 4th pillar is controls, whether that's financial, cyber, regulatory. It's becoming a really hot topic and is really important for all enterprises. And frankly, the D-GEM.AI, in particular our AIQ framework, is helping clients move away from human-based judgment and intervention and letting data science do its magic to drive a reduction in value at risk and be far more preventative than the traditional models that we have seen in the past. And finally, there's technology. So I guess we have to start to take our clients on the journey to adopt cloud at scale, start to connect the big tech that exists across the different parts of an enterprise with the small tech that we've seen really successful in some of our clients, which has much more agility, it's quicker to deploy, and we can use data orchestration connectors to start to reduce the flow of process and the flow of data across the enterprise.
Yeah, and we should talk about some of those frictionless enterprise outcomes we deliver with D-GEM.
Yeah, I mean, our experience has shown that frictionless enterprises can deliver a range of tangible outcomes, starting in finance, working across the enterprise, such as speed to market, forecast accuracy, working capital, shifting revenue to digital streams. I mean, these are all quite impressive, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it's quite clear that the future is absolutely frictionless.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the energy that we're bringing in the market, and I'm absolutely confident that our clients are going to start yielding the return from this investment in the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's end things there, shall we? And it was great to talk to you about the future of finance and how organizations can thrive through frictionless.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Caroline. Speak soon.
Thanks, Bridge.